Today I'm going to share a story about the many dangers of going to a black market FUE clinic in Turkey. But before we get started, if you guys are interested in having a hair transplant and you want to check out which surgeons are actually doing good work, I'm going to go ahead and link the Hair Restoration Network discussion forum in the description box, guys. It is free to use and I highly suggest you check it out if you want to see what surgeons are actually doing good work posted by actual patients. All right, now let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm noticing an alarming trend. There are a lot of these so-called consulting agencies that handle Facebook group pages and they're admins for these pages, and this is where they get clients to go to these black market FUE clinics. This is where they fool so many guys into having cheap surgery, and some of these guys are lucky to still be alive. So I'm going to share this story of this brave guy that came to the forum and shared his story. And the reason why I want to share it with you guys on YouTube is I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. I want you guys to see this as an example and understand the importance of actually belonging to a community that consists of real patients. Okay, so here's the background of the story. This guy was 35 years old. He was contacted by one of these consultants that belonged to one of these agencies, and they promised to give him 5,000 grafts for 3,000 euros, and they promised that he would have growth, and most importantly, they promised that he would have no scars. Okay, so on the day of the surgery, it lasted 10 hours. It was incredibly painful, and they actually injected too much anesthesia, which actually caused him to faint. He kept vomiting, he was throwing up, he felt sick, he kept fainting, until finally they called the ambulance. When he went to the doctors or went to the emergency room physician told him that his blood pressure was too low because he had essentially overdosed on anesthesia. I'm gonna link an article, guys, from a guy who died last year in India, and the doctor actually got arrested because he died of an anaphylactic shock from anesthesia. This is real, guys. This is dangerous. This guy was lucky to be alive, and I say this in all sincerity, and I say this because it's true. Okay, so the recovery was almost as bad as the surgery for him. He couldn't sleep, his donor was always in pain, but what hurt even worse was the way his donor looked. It was moth-eaten, it was depleted, it was over-harvested, and adding insult to injury, he literally had no growth. Nothing. His hair didn't grow. The hair transplant, the so-called 5,000 grafts that he got for $3,000 didn't grow at all. And now he's left with a donor that looks actually worse than the top. And this caused him to not want to go outside, and this caused him a lot of insecurities that he didn't even deal with before. So he contacted his so-called agent that helped him, and the agent agreed that the hair transplant procedure was a failure. But the agent wouldn't do anything about it. He said that the clinic would offer a touch-up for free, and that was that. So this patient shared his story, and lo and behold, a few months later, this agent actually texted him threatening to sue him. Can you believe that? He had no empathy, nothing. He threatened to sue him after this guy could have lost his life. That's just, I have no words for that. Okay, so that was an awful story, but thankfully that awful story has a good ending. This patient found our forum and had his hair transplant repaired by a quality surgeon, Dr. Modus of Greece, recommended by our forum. Now, just to compare things, right? He paid $3,000 for 5,000 grafts. He almost lost his life. He had no growth, and his donor area was completely depleted. Now, in comparison with Dr. Maris, he paid $6,500 for 2,500 grafts, and now his donor looks untouched in the areas where they extracted, and he's got a solid hairline, and most importantly, he got his life back. I think this is a powerful story, and I really want you guys to evaluate what's more important. Money comes and goes. Your donor supply is finite, and you only have one life, okay? And life is precious. And this is serious, guys. It really is. Hair transplant surgery, while it's minimally invasive, it's serious, and guys have died from anesthesia, too much anesthesia, and these clinics are notorious for this. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and link the thread in the description box, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and read it. You can also send him messages. He's open to receiving messages if you guys want a little bit more detail. And in closing, I hope you guys found this video informative, and I hope it impacted you the way it did me. And if you guys like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would go ahead and give me a like. And if you guys think that anyone would benefit from this video, which I really think there's tons of people that would, please share it with them. And if you guys like the content that I put on this channel, I would really appreciate it if you guys would go ahead and subscribe. All right, till next time.